As founder and co-chair of the Congressional Caucus on Missing and Exploited Children, thanks to the suggestion from Ernie Allen a number of years back, I really am pleased to be able to welcome Beth Alberts here. Beth is the CEO of Texas Center for the Missing, which is a not-for-profit organization established in 2000 by Houston executive Doreen Wise in memory of her son Gabriel after his 4-month disappearance and tragic loss. The center has one goal: to keep vulnerable children and adults safe. And since July 2001, Ms. Alberts has served as the director of the Houston Regional Amber Plan in July 2001, since July 2001, largest regional Amber Alert system in the country. Ms. Alberts also serves as the coordinator for both the Southeast Texas Child Abduction Response Team, which is a multi-jurisdictional, multidisciplinary team of 70 different agencies prepared to respond to endangered missing child cases, and the Southeast Texas Search and Rescue Alliance, a consortium of volunteer search and rescue teams and missing children's organizations providing support to law enforcement agencies and families of the missing. Ms. Alberts serves as the secretary of the board of AMECO, Inc., AMCO, it's an international consortium of missing children's organizations. As a board member of the Harris County Department of Education's Safe and Secure Schools, and sits on the Children's Assessment Center Partnership Council. A busy, busy lady. One that we have tremendous appreciation for her, for caring, for her willingness to help and give back so much of herself, and for being here today. Welcome.
Thank you so much for letting me come from the small state of Texas today to talk to you. During 2006, there were more than 650,000 children reported missing in the United States, and more than 60 of those were in my home state of Texas. Of these Texas cases, at the end of 2006, 5,182 of those children remained missing. Those are the kinds of things that make me lie awake at night and wonder if we're ever going to get all of those kids back. I beg you, when you're looking at the issue of missing and homeless children, not to differentiate between them even if a child's left home voluntarily. Any child who is away from home, from a stable, loving environment, is a child at risk. No child chooses to be marginalized. Children never knowingly choose to expose themselves to exploitation and victimization. A child who chooses to run away is always running to a better place, they hope, than the place they've been. They do not consciously choose to become vulnerable to predators and exploiters. Children who live on the street have 3 ways to support themselves. They steal from us, our communities, they sell drugs, and they sell themselves. Many resort to all 3, creating yet more victims. It's often been said that children are our most valuable resource, but this is seldom reflected in our practices as a society. With our national focus on terrorism, we worry more about an enemy we cannot see, cannot know, and whose motives we cannot understand than those who threaten our children daily. Make no mistake, the animals who prey on our children are terrorists of the worst order, and they target our most vulnerable citizens, those who represent our future, our children. Predators systematically and methodically threaten and terrorize our children on all fronts, whether they're runaway or homeless children, those threatened by their own family members, or by pornographers who line their pockets with profits from the sale of innocence. Our defense must be no less systematic and methodical. The primary motive for stranger abduction is sexual assault of the child, and child molesters have on average 117 victims prior to their first arrest. Children are no longer safe from these terrorists online, on the streets, in their homes, or even in their beds. And what is our response? Very little response until that particular chicken comes home to roost in our backyard. And then we're outraged and we pick up the mantle and carry on. But we must act now before another young life is lost, before another child loses the very innocence that defines childhood. There is good news. There's hope. There are concerned citizens working together, such as the member organizations of the Association of Missing and Exploited Children's Organizations and the National Center, who work tirelessly to ensure that no stone is left unturned in the battle to protect our children and to punish the guilty. The Amber Alert program has been so successful and has accomplished so much. The multi-jurisdictional, multidisciplinary child abduction response teams now are poised to take this critical notification system one step further by providing for an immediate, full-scale response to a critical missing child incident. The Attorney General's Project Safe Childhood has begun successful efforts to pull together teams to wage war on Internet predators. And as a response to continued threats to our kids, small independent efforts are popping up across communities daily. I'm very proud of the staff and volunteers of the Texas Center for the Missing for being on the front lines, providing both leadership and training to others in the field for all of these critical programs. Unhappily, I must report to you that not one of these programs is adequately funded, and few, if any, receive a penny of government funding at the local, state, or national level. Local grassroots efforts are the most effective method for delivering prevention efforts and saving children's lives. If only a fraction of our war on terror dollars was devoted to the protection of our children, we could dramatically reduce the number of children traumatized. Margaret Mead said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." I believe that we at the Texas Center for the Missing, through our extensive collaborative partnerships and through our champions like Congressman Lamson, that we've begun to have a tremendous impact on this problem. But true social change does not happen in isolation. It happens through the concerted efforts of a diverse group of caring, committed citizens focusing on a complex issue and really seeing, not just the forest, but the trees. We must ensure the replication of these collaborative networks 10,000-fold across our country and the world to save both our children and ourselves from a future more bleak than we can imagine. Thank you.